Indy, Monaco, Le Mans. There are many great races in the world, but for amateur drivers, one race stands above all others. For the past 50 years, the Sports Car Club of America Runoffs has been the pinnacle of amateur motorsports. A single, winner-take-all event that can take a lifetime to win and only split seconds to lose. This is where champions are crowned, where professional careers are launched. This is where greatness is born.
And welcome to coverage on SpeedcastTV.com of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, the 50th running. And in 50 years of champions, we're going to crown 2 champions in this class. I'm Jim Trado, along with Dorsey Schrader. In the pits, John Besignano, and we're looking at a beautiful grid with the fastest cars of the weekend, Dorsey. This is going to be pretty quick.
Combined classes, C and D sports racer. It's going to be hard for you at home to tell one from the other because they look very much alike. In fact, they are. The real difference between the two is the size of the engine, but they are indeed the fastest cars we'll see this weekend.
Sub 2 minutes for Lee Alexander, the pole sitter in CSR. Last year, DSR, we got down to 1 minute 58 seconds a lap. It's crazy to know that as similar as these cars are, the classifications are based upon engine displacement. That's the difference, but the speeds certainly are very, very close in matching. As Dorsey mentioned, it's a new track record for the CSR class for Lee Alexander. He'll lead us to the green flag. The fastest of the 2 classes gets the honors up front. And speaking of honors on the grid, let's now turn it over to our man on pit road, John Besignano. Hey, Biz.
I'll tell you guys, these guys know everything about fast. These are some of the fastest cars in the history around Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Now, just the difference between the two, I'm sure you've been talking about this, but the C Sports Racer, this is very important, 1,125 pounds minimum. And they have a 1600 cc engine, where over here, the D Sports Racer, this entire car is only 900 pounds with a 1000 cc engine. Now, if you just look at the body here, the reason there's no paint on this exposed carbon fiber is because the paint for this car could add 20 pounds to the vehicle. And of course, weight is everything. Gorgeous cars, very much the same shadow as the 24-hour Le Mans type cars, full fenders, all kinds of aerodynamics going on in the fender itself, front wings, even small little tabs. These little cascade tabs, these create downforce for sure, but what they're trying to do is control the airflow around this tire and wheel, which can be disturbing air. In the back, set up for Elkhart Lakes. Again, the fastest cars around Elkhart Lake are sitting right here. Look how incredibly low this rear wing is. Now, the fact that it's sitting so low, you might think, well, it's out of the airstream, but the air is so managed over the entire body, and the air is actually compressed coming off the rear of the car, that there's a tremendous amount of air passing under, which is where the negative lift comes from, and the downforce, and across the top, across this little spoiler. Everything about this car is aerodynamics and speed. They're beautiful, but fast. Dorsey, I gotta ask you, going flat through many of the corners that everyone else is braking and actually maybe downshifting for, that's gotta be incredibly exciting. Under 2 minutes for the C Sports Racer.
Drive a car like this is amazing because your mind doesn't let you comprehend that the car can do what it can in fact do. The faster you drive those cars, well, the easier it is. Just the opposite of what you'd think. Those cars, the faster you go, make more and more downforce, which enables you to take those corners nearly flat out. It makes them hard to pass, too, because, quite honestly, they don't lift much. They're wide open everywhere.
But is there any false sense of securities that they've now worked out? Because we've been here all week long. Tuesday was a great day to qualify. A lot of the fast times were set over 3 days of qualifying. But is there a false sense of security because you've had a fast car that grips so well?
Well, you know, and we've seen this throughout the last 2 days, that the only dry qualifying session was on Tuesday. It was very warm in the 80s that day. It was really a perfect day for qualifying. It has rained constantly since then. So the racetrack has never come back to where it was. It's some 2 seconds a lap slower in most cases. So these guys have now made an adjustment to their chassis based on what they think they know the racetrack will be like today. But they haven't been out there to prove it yet. They had a warm-up session that was really early this morning, and it was about 38 degrees then.
I was just going to bring up the temperature. We see the long sleeves on, a couple layers for the folks working on the grid, the false grid there. The temperatures, how much will that play with these downforce cars?
Well, once they get the tire pressures and temps up, it won't bother them a bit. The engines, on the other hand, will make more horsepower with this crisp autumn-like air. They will be happy engines. Now, Biz was saying that the DSRs are 1,000cc, mostly motorcycle engines, but not 100% of them. Some of them, like last year's champion Scott Tucker, ran a very first time ever turbocharged 860cc motorcycle-derived engine. I don't think we have any of those in the field today, but most of these DSRs are 1 liters, and like he was saying, 1.6 liter. Well, you could run Mazda, you could run Toyota, you could run Cosworth engines over on the CSR side, or the Windfirst Kohler car that we say all the time, which is a modular motor, will be in here as well. That's Jason Miller, who's qualified outside front row. That's a modular, I think, 6-cylinder, 1 liter.
Such a storied history here with the Miller family. This being the final year of the SCCA National Championship runoffs for the near foreseeable future. The Millers live here. The Sheboygan Falls area is right next door. His father, a 7-time gold medalist. He's raced for decades. Jason's taken over the reins of the team operations, qualified extremely well. They've had some struggles with that Windfirst chassis. When he and his dad were both racing, it was a matter of, can it last? Now it seems like things are clicking for Jason in 2013.
You know, to my knowledge, they're the only ones that use that engine, and they kind of did all the development work on it, made it what it is. And I said 1 liter. It's not actually 1 liter. It's bigger than that. But it's quite an amazing deal where you can just bolt on another cylinder and another chunk of crankshaft to run that cylinder, and now it's a 7-cylinder. But I think this is running in 6.
See a couple of cars coming on course here. They are the T3 finalists from our race prior. We've got a great day of racing ahead of you. Hopefully you can stay with us, glued to your computer on speedcasttv.com all day long. The CSR DSR, 13 laps for 40 minutes is the difference, and we see the wall just getting tweaked there because there was an incident on the opening lap. Hopefully that nothing happens for the rest of the day like that.
Been tweaked every day this week by somebody's always tweaking on that wall in these starts. You get really ramped up for the runoffs. This is the biggest race of the year for everybody, and some of these classes we'll see. This is a pretty big class, as a matter of fact, because we've got 2 classes, so we're going to have 25 cars involved here. Those starts, you can get it wrong, and there's concrete to the right and there's concrete to the left, and there's nowhere to go when it all hits.
In all the years I've been coming here, Dorsey, I've never gotten a ride in a pace car. Would I be safer with George Brugenthies, the track president, or you behind the wheel?
Well, actually, I tell you who's doing them right now. There's 2 guys that you can get a ride out there this afternoon at lunch break, too, and Carl Jensen's out there, and get Carl to take you in the Z06. You'll get a good ride there.
Now, I've only driven the back half. I have to be honest with you. Did it in a Skippy school with Duck Waddle as the instructor. That was a lot of fun.
Duck's here this weekend.
Yeah. But it's amazing how the track can, the shading here, and really it was frosty out this morning.
It was
kind of starting
cold.
now heat up.
You know, yesterday and all through the weekend it's been raining. And even when it quits raining, the back part where he's going right now down toward the kink all the way through here, when you see going down the back straight, it's all trees. And the trees overhang the racetrack, and it never really truly gets dry down there. You can see it here. It's like going through a forest. It's one of the most wonderful visual things that we deal with in racing. This is a great racetrack to run.
A world-class event taking place at a world-class venue. The 50th running of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. We do thank you for being part of our broadcast coverage. Just a final few tweaks. I believe those Corvettes are also probably taking one last inspection with all the great safety workers we have on hand. They spent their entire week. They take vacation and volunteer to be here. False grid, tech, you name it. There's volunteers. You can be part of it. Go to scca.com and find out more. As the grid sign is posted, we're under 5 minutes from rolling. Now it appears that there's 3 fingers ahead overhead, so we're getting close. And I'm getting excited because as we sit here, 2 minutes a lap is going to go by pretty quickly.
If we don't have a caution, this race will end very quickly. You know, we're going to have 13 laps. It's not going to be anywhere near 40 minutes if they run clean the whole way. And this track right now, I would say, you know, this is, I don't know how much rubber's on the racetrack right now, but short of not having rubber on it, this would be a track record kind of day. It's real crisp, clean air, not a lot of wind, and the sun's shining brightly here at Road America. So this is all inducive of quick speed.
And speaking of track records, that's a great look at Lee Alexander's number 48. His store, Suzuki-powered machine, track record for the CSR in the SCCA Runoffs competition, 1 minute 59.638 is the time that he set. He was at 2 minutes even until he came out for his final session on the first day of qualifying to go lower than 2 minutes. The only driver that's gone under 2 minutes the entire session here this weekend with 28 classes. He'll be on the pole position out of Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Factory 48 APE Race Parts store, WF1 Suzuki. Pretty excited to see how he's going to get after this. As he ran DSR last year, he'll be seeing the grid first. As we come up the hill, we're a minute away. That's the minute sign going ahead, so the drivers now know all engines are fired. As we have 2 classes to go through, we'll start early here with our CSR grid. Starting outside of row number 1 will be Jason Miller, we talked about in that black number 8. He was the first car on track when the track went to the official sessions for practice session for the SCCA National Championships here at Road America. His Kohler Millennium is sponsored by a WinFirst Kohler-powered machine. We talked about the power plant. That Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin driver has a lot of laps here. He'll start second today on the grid. Starting third in row number 2, Dudley Fleck out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The Mazda Hoosier Coors Light. Van Diemen, DPO2 Mazda powered. He finished fourth here in the June sprint. He's done a lot of different racing. Short track stock cars. He's got to a national level. Back here at the Runoffs once again. Starting fourth at number 07, Jacek Muka. Super sweep eligible out of Lebec, Quebec. He's run all over the country. Believe me, he's run a ton of races in the Phoenix, Initech, Mazda, Swift JMS 016A CP Mazda power plant. Jacek Muka again starting fourth. Starting fifth would be the number 84 of Steve Forer. Yes, that's Steve Forer out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Three-time and defending CSR champion. He'll go from fifth on the grid in the Cahill Motorsports Forer Supply Ralt RT41. Starting sixth, the number 46 of James French out of Sheboygan, Wisconsin. The Motorsports Enterprises Limited Swift 014. Two-timer bronze medalist looking for better on the silver and gold categories for James French. He'll start the 46 and sixth. Starting seventh inside row number 4, Kurt Kinsfader out of Eaton, Colorado. The Mid-States Conference champion in the Orthos, Center Rockies Realtech Speeds RS11A. He also won the June Sprints bonus race here, so he's got some time on this track back in June. Starting eighth, the number 45 of Brian French, the Sheboygan, Wisconsin racer out of Motorsports Enterprises Limited, Ralt RT41. He is a national champion dating back to 1999. The Formula Atlantic Championship was his that year. We'll see if he can double it up here at Road America. In the fifth row, on the inside, the number 52 of Miles Jackson out of Maple Valley, Washington. The Jackson Dean Construction, Store OD1. Second in national points. He's looking for gold here this weekend. Starting 10th, the number 63 of Jim Downing out of Atlanta, Georgia. Jim Downing is here. He was the very first pole sitter of the very first runoffs 50 years ago in 1964 in a Formula V. He's racing his own Beach Day 02 Mazda power plant in the Downing Atlanta Incorporated machine. Looking forward to seeing Jim having a great spirited run. Starting 11th, the number 09 of Bob Wellis out of Reedsville, North Carolina, the Parts411.com Viper, George Dean Racing, Store WF1. He's fourth in the East Conference in points this year. Starting 12th, the number 21 of David Watson of Kleinburg, Ontario, Canada. 5 top 10s and 14 runoff tries. We'll see if he can improve on that and get up into that top 5, and even in the podium category. He'll start 12th in his store. Starting 13th in our final row, row number 7, 88, Joseph Schaffini, Las Vegas, Nevada. First ever runoffs for that young man. ThePainSolutions.com, Store WF1. And starting shotgun on the field is scheduled to be Arnie Loining, the 2005 CSR gold medalist in the Loining's Engine Service Swift.
Well, in D Sports Racing, it was Chris Farrell from Salt Lake City, Utah, who took pole position at a time just over 2 minutes, 2:01.6, in the C&M Manufacturing GDR engines. Hoosier Tire, most of these cars in DSR are stores, and this is a Store WF1. Tom Boots sits outside from Evansville, Indiana, Hoosier Havoc Motorsports Boots Industries store. Next to him, David Locke, Lafayette, Indiana. These guys run together a lot. Moon Supercycle sponsored store. Suzuki 1-liter engine in that car. Brian Hall comes up next. Spring Grove, Illinois, outside of Chicago. Audi Hoffman Estates, Hoosier Tire, Store WF1. Jim Hallman's from Kirchner on Atlanta. And that's not right, is it? Ontario. Anyway, another store. Richard Coburn up next from Northbrook, Illinois, Sunshine Metals. Nose Tendo to Suzuki. A lot of these guys, most of these guys run the Suzuki power plant 1-liter motorcycle engine. Michael Rupert up next, Sunshine Metals, team car. Then you have Jim Vogel from Middletown, Wisconsin, Vogel Industries Store, Suzuki. Doug Piner, Chapel Hills, North Carolina, Sirius Computer Solutions, Dauntless MX-1 Suzuki, so there's a different chassis there. Brandon Dixon has run multiple races throughout this weekend from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, C&M Manufacturing, Critter Hoosier, Suzuki Store. And last, and bringing up the back of the field for DSR, is Garrett Kletchian, GDRE, and oh boy, he's got too many initials. Hardshell Motorsports. I give up on that.
Come on, Doris, here we go. We're getting ready. This is exciting.
It is exciting.
The CSR class will be the first ones to take the green, and then we'll have a staggered start. So actually the DSR cars will have their own green once the CSRs get underway. So it's a beautiful sight here at Road America, now going through turn 14 behind the pace car.
We saw this be a really smart decision yesterday, the split class, because we had one of those straightaway crashes in a split combined session yesterday, and of course the second group didn't have to race through the wreck, which was a really good idea. They ran them up through pit lane, so they didn't have to go through the debris field.
Coming up the hill to take the initial green flag in the CSR category, pole sitter Lee Alexander in the red and black liveried machine. Jason Miller is outside in his final run here at Road America, his home track They go 1-2 on the grid, and up the front stretch we go to begin the CSR run to the national championship.
Remember, cold tires in the ride height might not be up enough. They might be on the chassis right now because they haven't built pressure up yet.
Little brake smoke there out of Jason Miller as he settles into second. Jacek Muka there in that wheel-covered number 07 sits third.
These are fast cars. Look how fast they come down the hill toward turn 3.
Battle there for position. Will give it to the number 74 machine. Indeed, a great strong move there. Dudley Fleck takes back third after losing that spot on the initial start.
Everybody clean, headed down the back straightaway. Unique racetrack here, Road America, 3 long straightaways. This headed toward turn 5 brake zone and a pass for the lead.
Jason Miller to the inside. He wants it badly. At his home track, he'll take the position. Let's see if 4 can pass under. No, he cannot do the in and out move. Jason Miller now has the lead as 1 car wide. It looks like Fleck might have lost that 3rd spot under heavy braking into turn 5.
And as low as these cars are to the ground, when they get out on the rumble strips, they're actually bouncing on the chassis, so it disrupts the car pretty badly. You don't want to be out there.
It's got to be as tight as it can be. There's no bounce in these cars at all. Everything bounces if there's bounce.
Here's your second spot. DSR now as they're coming up. D Sports Racing getting their green flag, about a quarter of a lap behind.
Chris Farrell on the inside, Tom Boots to the outside.
Somebody
Boots
from
the drag
back.
race.
Somebody from the back had a huge start. Here he comes all the way up to 4th place from dead last. That'd be Garrett Clutchian. Here he's going to 2nd place, or 3rd place rather.
Clutchian had a horrible qualifying session, just 3 minutes 21 in his only recorded time on Tuesday. A lot of issues for Clutchian, so indeed his speed is now finally being shown in that machine as he powers forward from 11th.
We're going to have to see how impressed the starter was with that start. I'm telling you, that was he made up like 8 positions, I think, right there.
There's a lot of discussion on the bridge right now as we speak. This is again the DSR category. 2 classes combined now for the first time under the Sargento Bridge.
They'll stay separated for a while before they hook up. Like I say, the speeds are pretty close. You're talking about a 59.5-second lap, 159 to a 2-minute flat lap, just about. So not a bunch of variances in lap time.
That's Clutchian in that black number 01 white helmet running 4th. He started 11th on the grid. That start was impressive. Now he settles in amongst the fast 5.
Hopefully not too impressive. Like I saw him move, and it was definitely early.
David Locke is ahead of him as they enter this area. We're going back to the CSR coverage now.
Jason Miller still with the lead over Lee Alexander.
It's not much, is it?
No, it's nothing. It's not a thing. They do draft well. These two, these cars open up a pretty big wall of air.
We see all those tailpipes coming out the backside of Jason Miller's car. 2-stroke versus 4, and that's a pretty impressive sitting still car. It's going fast right now into the Sargento Bridge as the leader in CSR here.
The Millers have always impressed us with that engine and the development that they've done on it over so many years now.
Into the inside.
Yeah, Lee Alexander takes that back.
The courtesy move, that's the move Jason Miller put on the race leader 1 lap ago. Alexander will say thank you. I'll take the lead on this back half of the course, and he'll pull up even and pass entering 5 in a clean move. Turn number 6 now. And that's 7, this down right-hander.
It's really off camber at the exit, that 7. It's a pain in the butt, that corner is. I always thought I was going to just have a demise there, and luckily never did. But it's really hard to keep the car gripping the further through that corner you go. It wants to head out. And if you add steering wheel to it, then it gets loose. Here's the daunting one.
Alexander now able to pull open here. So perhaps he was gauging Miller on the opening lap.
They're going to catch this going in Canada corner. One of the cars broke down. The 97.
Richard Coburn. Tough break for the young man, the 71-year-old youngster. North and Mid-States Conference Championships.
Corner workers have that white flag hanging out of the fence there, and that's a slow-moving vehicle indicator. They're telling the drivers, be careful up here. We got a guy that's limping along.
Tough
Could
break
be
for Coburn.
Also a wrecker, too. You'll see that when they put a wrecker out. The other thing they've been doing this weekend a lot is not putting out full-course cautions unless really, really necessary. So they protect all of the things with a single yellow flag. You'll see that white flag displayed with it. Here's our D Sports. So something just flew off one of those cars and is rolling down through the hillside. Something big.
Farrell leads Boots.
Don't know what it was.
That blue and white number 18 is David Locke. Out of Lafayette, Indiana, trying to hold position here on Brian Hall's charge in the 69.
You usually need all the pieces of these cars, on them. So when something big like that goes flying off, that's not ever good. And there's a car limping along.
Our leader is falling off pace. Farrell has now put his hand in the air.
Yeah, let's see if that's...
Our DSR leader is slowing.
I don't know if that was the car that shed the piece. That's Boots in the car.
Correction, that was Tom Boots with the issue. Boots had been leading.
I don't know if that was the car that lost the piece or not, but something big flew off one of the cars, and that's not supposed to happen. This could be the car. I'm not sure, though.
So we saw something fly off just a half a lap ago, a couple of turns ago, and unfortunately for Tom Boots, his great start from P2 leading the category in DSR over Chris Farrell. Gives this lead now to Farrell. Look at how lonely he is at front now. The black machine with the green numerals. The store chassis. C&M Manufacturing. Out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
1,000cc engines that they run from Suzuki. If you leave them stock, they don't make as much horsepower as if you really tweak on them a lot. If you tweak on them a lot, and the trick with these engines is to run a lot of RPM, and I'm talking like above 15,000, they blow up a lot when that happens.
That's a lot of RPMs.
Yeah, it's a ton of RPMs.
And on this racetrack, those two long straightaways.
Yeah, and what happens, unfortunately, usually what happens is the number 2 rod comes out the front of the block where the headers are, and then you usually have a fire. And I don't know if that's relative to what's happened right there with boots, but these cars are tweaked to the max. I mean, they're brittle.
Underway in the CSR, DSR combined categories, nearing the 6-minute mark. It's a 40-minute time limit of 13 laps, and we are flying. Already working lap 3. Lee Alexander leads Jason Miller and Kurt Kinsfater. That's your top 3. Dudley Fleck 4th. Steve Forer, the defending class champion, sits 5th in CSR.
This is a good skirmish going on right now. Coming out of Canacora.
That's the battle for 6th and 7th. Jacek Muka, the number 07 machine there. This is the battle for 3rd, and boy, what a hornet's nest this is.
That's 3rd through everybody.
Up the hill off of turn 14, nearly mile-long straightaway.
These cars very fast, very slippery up these straightaways.
A nod to Benetton as the paint job that Steve Forer continues to spirit to the display and win at convincing fashion. 3 in a row coming into this one. Here he moves to the inside now. Looking to the inside of Fleck. No chance.
He's had that paint job on all the different cars over the years he's run through the runoffs, whether it be in this class or any class. He's easy to spot. Up, spin here, or half spin, and he's sideways in the track, wherever that is. Don't have a car number, but it looks like maybe in turn 5.
That's between turn 6 and 7. We talked about the blind left-hander, top of the hill under the Corvette bridge.
It's a tough area of the racetrack. That turn 6 is off camber at the exit. Turn 7 is off camber all the way through from the turning on.
And a bold move here. James French underneath Steve Forer. Forer has not raced all season. He took his championship provisional to get in the race. James French, on the other hand, finished 2nd in the North Division, North Conference, which covers Road America. They race here a number of times over the course of the year in this conference. So his 2 bronze medals and his experience here paying off for the car of French, now moving ahead of Forer's beautifully colored number 84.
That car that spun must have gotten righted and going again, because they would have gone right through there.
That's always a good sign. They can get racing, get it restarted.
You know, right there, it's a downhill. This is a very elevation, a lot of elevation at this racetrack, and where he was spun was a pretty severe downhill, so it'd be easier to get straightened out and then pop started again going down that hill.
Moving forward, James French up from his 6th starting spot, up into the 5th position. Also, Kurt Kinsfater started 7th. He's up to 3rd. He's in medal contention in CSR.
Or with a little twitch back there.
That blue white number 18 of David Locke. Racing in 2nd position now in DSR. Chris Farrell the leader, but it's indeed Garrett Klitschen now into the 2nd spot over David Locke.
And he was the car that started dead last and had that huge start jump. I saw him out of the corner of my eye just ripping up the infield of everybody. He went from dead last, which in that particular case would have been 11th, all the way up to 4th place in by turn 1. That's the same car now. That's Klitschen. The guy we're talking about is off pace.
He had troubles at the beginning of the week. He was a minute 20 off pace on the opening qualifying day. No time recorded the next 2. He thought he had things remedied, but to no avail. He'll drop out of this race.
Well, he doesn't have to
run for the Hingham, Massachusetts racer.
Doesn't have to worry about the starter anymore. Yeah, you know, whether they deem that start jump or not, it's irrelevant. Now it's broke.
A long winter now, knowing how much you had. You tasted the front. Now it's gone.
Like I say, these engines they're revving them unbelievably. You know, for the sake of not blowing engines, if you put say a 12,000 RPM rev limit on that class, you know, you'd have a lot less of that. But if you start running 15,000, 17,000, you're going to break stuff.
Impressive run here with that blue car with the orange fenders, the 46 of James French, and he's trying to stay clean, but he is really aggressive. He's making Dudley Fleck race him into turn 5 to maintain position.
Well, these guys,
there's no coasting down the gearbox.
It gives you confidence for sure. I mean, you have so much, like the carousel in most cars is really hard. These guys, no problem, flat out, all the way through there. Because the faster you go, the more grip the car develops. So put your foot down. It's hard for your brain to understand it. You know, if you were to lift or slow up with a kink here, the car would be loose, it'd be wanting to crash. If you just do it flat, it's got more grip, you go right on through there. But you got to tell your brain that.
The Kinsfater leads that group of 4 cars racing for the 3rd through 7th positions. third through sixth. Kinsfader here. Look at this. Is again James French positioning on Dudley Fleck, and Fleck maintaining his speed. Able to hold that position now, but it's an interesting challenge here. Looks like French is the faster car trying to find his way around.
Well, he's doing his best to be a pain, that's for sure. He's going to keep putting his nose down in there and looking. He hasn't had enough momentum yet to get truly alongside, but it worries the guy when you keep popping to the inside like that. It makes him think that you're coming all the time. Distracts him off his game, and here he comes up the inside. This might work. Nice pop out. This is a long straightaway down the front here.
Begin working lap number 6, and French is trying to make his way forward, starting back in the 6th position. He's got the position nearly touching there with Fleck. Fleck gives him just enough room to get inside, and Forer will take advantage as well.
Forer hip checked him right there. I don't think it was intentional, but by going in there as deep as he did, trying not to give up that pass, he got in too deep. He put him outside the normal line. Forer had nowhere to go but up the inside, and then just unfortunately transversed out and hit him side to side. I don't think any damage done.
That's a battle up front here. The CSR Lee Alexander just going out of frame down the hill. The blue number 8 is Jason Miller, the June Sprints winner, sits second. Then comes this nest. It's a beehive to be had. Brian French now able to get past Dudley Fleck. You see how fast he is. He and Steve Ford now able to gap that number 74 machine of Fleck now up the hill into 6.
Sure wish I knew what flew off that car. That's just going to bother me from now on. And if it was that same car that broke down over there too, I'm kind of thinking it was.
Tom Boots had the early lead in DSR, if you're just joining us, from P2 on grid, but had a failure and pulled off course right here under the Johnsonville Bridge. That's Kirk Kinsfader sitting in the 3rd position. Running 4th now is that blue and orange number 46 of James French. Brian French's father is also competing in the race. James, just 21 years of age, finished 3rd here in the June Sprints. He's making a move. He's on the charge.
Another slow car as we're coming up there. Maybe it's not slow. That's just a long camera shot, so all that was.
That's David Locke in the number 18 machine, currently 2nd in DSR.
That long camera shot will catch you off like that. You're looking at a lot of racetrack, about a half a mile of racetrack right there.
Lap times, you're wondering? We knew the pole time was under 2 minutes. Lee Alexander is circling this 14-turn course at 2 minutes 2 second pace. That was his best lap, and it was his last lap. He's working lap 6 now.
Don't think this racetrack has any rubber down on it anymore. I mean, unfortunately, it rained so hard for so many days straight that I think we don't have the fast numbers we were seeing last Tuesday.
This is for 3rd position and a medal. James French to the inside. The black machine is Kirk Kinsfader. Kinsfader surged from 7th to 3rd. Now he'll find his position 4th as French takes 3rd into turn 1.
Kinsfader didn't make that easy either. He kept crowding over to the inside, not going to give any radius to him. But the pass was clean, no question about it. He was clean by before he had to turn in.
And if you've been to a club race or a majors event this year, no doubt you've seen Jacek Muka in his CSR machine. He is in the 8th position. Out of contention for the super sweep. He's got to win this here to claim the super sweep, which has a number of factors, including winning national points and select number of major starts and winning this national championship event in the runoffs.
Jacek, of course, a past national champion, and more than just this class. He's running open wheel categories. Yeah,
silver's as high as he's gotten in runoffs competition.
Yeah. He's been everywhere. Stuff. Well, you know, these cars, the CSRs were basically Formula Atlanta cars with full bodies at first, up until stores started making stuff like that. Making these new chassis, and most of these cars were converted Formula Atlanta cars, and Stores is one of those, and Forester, I mean.
James French now able to gap here into 3rd position.
You know what? Looking on the timing sheet, remember when Boots pulled off and we thought that was that car? He pulled off underneath it. Whatever broke, he must have got it fixed because he's back out there running again. And he's in 3rd place.
37 seconds behind, so whatever it was temporary, long enough to lose the lead, but we thought it was terminal.
Yeah, I don't know. Got to be fired. He's just turned the fastest race lap, as a matter of fact. So whatever it was that made him pull off down there, he somehow found a fix for it. You don't do that often either.
And that's a pretty impressive category to hang on to. A number of famous drivers have had that fast lap category given to them as the fastest lap run in the runoffs. This year, the Hawk Performance Hot Lap right now, if you had to award it, went to Tom Boots, who's on a charge, trying to get that 37-second gap
when
back.
Something breaks on the car and you go out there and you were able to fix it yourself and get going, the adrenaline surge is a little bit higher than normal. You can pull off some pretty remarkable things.
And that's Boots there, that number 36 back refired. Now he's intermingling here with the CSR categories. James French has turned the fastest lap in the CSR category. So perhaps they're drafted together, if you will.
I'm trying to look at the lap chart and see. I mean, They're still in the 202s, 202.80. That's not bad. It's not far off.
Jason Miller is second in the CSR category. We see our leader just going out of frame there. The advantage to Lee Alexander since the outset after passing Jason Miller in this long downhill to turn number 5 is where they made 2 lead changes. Jason Miller initially made that move and led it to this point a lap later on lap 2 when Lee Alexander said thank you very much and is now checked out to that lead of 10-15 car lengths now entering the carousel.
It's one of the best passing zones down into 5 where you come down that long back straightaway. You're at maximum braking down to the slowest corner on the racetrack. You know, you're down to second or first gear for that corner, so it's a good area to try to get the nose under a guy and make a pass.
And Boots surrendered position on track, but they're in 2 different classes here. We see James French now getting past him in the carousel.
And that's what makes it hard for this class, because they're running the same identical chassis body looks pretty much.
Under the Hawk Performance Bridge goes the number 32 of Kurt Kinsfader. Running in 4th now as it's a 3-car pursuit for third. The third has now been decided by French. David Locke running 2nd. He's a very strong run. Very consistent run. Chris Farrell's our leader, also Super Sweep eligible in DSR. David Locke runs 2nd. Tom Boots is categorically in 3rd. Jim Hallman 4th. Brian Hall 5th in DSR. That's your top 5 in that category. Top 5 in CSR. Lee Alexander is working lap number 8 over Jason Miller, James French, Kurt Kinsfader, and Dudley Flack. That's your top 5 in CSR. Stay tuned. We have more coverage headed your way next on the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, hot and heavy in the middle of CSR, DSR. We'll be right back on SpeedcastTV.com.
The 2013 SCCA Runoffs are brought to you by Mazda. Zoom Zoom.
It's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You wish the freeway on-ramp was your personal racetrack. Well, buckle up, buddy, because the Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and events across the country, the SCCA has all the excitement you can handle. Dance the blacktop two-step with SCCA Solo. Get down and dirty with SCCA Rallycross. Or go wheel-to-wheel with SCCA Club Racing. Hit the track with the SCCA, where America's best drivers race.
He ignored the naysayers and never compromised. When Thomas Edison threw the switch, it changed everything. Engineering without compromise. This is the Mazda way. And this is the Mazda CX-5. Skyactiv technology makes it lighter yet stronger, earning a top safety pick. And more fuel efficient than any hybrid SUV. This is the uncompromised Mazda CX-5. What do you drive?
And welcome back to SpeedcastTV.com coverage of the CSR, DSR category. And man, it's getting hot and heavy here, Dorsey. To the back half of the course we go in the battle for 2nd in CSR. Jason Miller started 2nd, had a share the lead on the opening lap. Now he's got a contention here. Big hot and heavy run here. These 2 cars are battling for 2nd. James French has entered the picture for the silver.
James French in the blue car with the orange fender stripes has come from further back, and he's run down Jason Miller. He's got more speed right now. Getting around the guy is different than catching him, however. We'll see that. Pops to the inside for 14. He will take that position and probably out-drag race, although getting power down the inside is hard to do.
French was 9/10 of a lap, 9/10 of a second faster last lap as he closed in on Miller, but Miller able to maintain position there.
You see Miller's car is a lot more narrow across its entire surface. That gives him big straight line speed. He's got big top end numbers. The wider car on the back's got more downforce. He'll be better on the back part of the section, back part of the course where the corners are more prevalent. And
both these racers raced for position in the June sprint. Jason Miller was the winner. James French finished 3rd. Both drivers from nearby Sheboygan Falls and Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Tons of laps here.
Yeah, local
Spirit
guys.
of battle. This is who they're chasing. This is Lee Alexander. That's the lead there.
You know, I know as much as they want to race each other for 2nd place, it'd be neat if they could hook up together to try to run down Lee Alexander. But, you know, I think Jason Miller's car is good on top end, and I think that James French's car is good from about right here on this twistier part of the racetrack where handling's more prevalent than straightaway speed.
Working lap 10, Miller and French for 2nd and 3rd. Matching each other's wits here. It was Lee Alexander and Jason Miller at the outset saying, we have the fastest cars on the grid. Let's see what we can do here.
Alexander French.
Yep.
I mean, this is his end of the racetrack. He's got to be aggressive here and make it count, because he's got to open up enough lead over Miller that when Miller gets on that straightaway, that narrower car with more top end doesn't just blow right by.
And we see there's a different arc there. Miller's got a more of a wide edge through the carousel as French was trying to run a thinner line there.
French is good through this end of the racetrack. He's really good through here. We saw him last time pop out down there in Canada Corner. I suspect he'll do the same thing again here.
Great speed shot to give you an idea of how much it takes to go 131 miles an hour or whatever it is down the track speeds there. It's amazing running, amazing speeds, over 120 mile per hour average. Did Lee Alexander turn in qualifying or near that speed now. You got 1 minute 59 was the pole time, excuse me. We're running 2 minutes 1, so just a couple seconds off. So yeah, we're buck 20, buck 25, buck 30 through the back half of the course, if not faster.
Look at Jason Miller's car, the lead car that packed the blue car. Look at the back of it with 6 pea shooter exhausts. It's got, that's a 2-cycle engine, and it's got expansion chamber exhaust on it, and then they marry them all together at the back, and there's 6 of them coming out. So if you're behind them, you're looking right at that 6 shooter at you, and you're smelling all that 2-cycle stuff.
Like you're in a Batmobile chase or something.
It's quite a car. I mean, that engine's quite a feat of accomplishment when you see them.
All right, we've got word from our friend Eric Prill with SCCA. He's in our head at all times, if you couldn't tell. 165 miles an hour
right
speeds here.
Down in turn 5, that's the fastest thing. That's your DSR leader right now that's going by there, Chris Farrell. 165 miles an hour downhill into the brake zone is a lot of fun. That straightaway is mostly downhill. That's why you usually get a bigger top end number than you do on this front straight. The pit straightaway is uphill most of the way.
Chris Farrell has returned to be a national champion. He's going for the super sweep out of Salt Lake City, Utah. He won the Mid-States Championship.
Spun car
he won
32.
The Western Championship in the conference running.
That's Kirk Kidsfighter again that has spun down in 5.
Had been running 4th. Can he maintain that position as things are starting to spread out a bit in this ultra-quick CSR DSR finale?
Oh, those things sound like race cars, don't they? Coming by, you can hear those twisted up RPMs. It sounds great. Sounds like little F1 cars running around here.
Now, Dorsey, position this. We're at working lap 10 in DSR. Farrell is all by himself. Is it a good thing to be all by yourself when your car's this good, this fast?
Yeah, he's good. If I was him,
concentration-wise,
I would drop my RPM back a little bit. I still run as hard as I was running through the corners, but if I was been turning 15, I'd drop back to 12. I want to save my car a little bit. It's not going to slow him up that much. It might save that engine.
Contrasting that, the run for second continues.
Yeah, this is a dogfight. Neither of these guys can do anything but race.
Every ounce of concentration, not a wheel turned wrong thus far by Jason Miller nor James French, son of Brian French, also in this class at the number 45 machine.
Miller's car got a little twitchy coming out of 14 there. It's got narrow wheelbase. It's much more slippery, and you see it right here. You look how much you can draw down that straightaway. It's not pushing near the mass of air as the car behind is.
And it may be the engine, but I'll notice a narrow exit off of 5 and an exit off of 14. He's not letting it come all the way out. He actually pinches it a bit.
Yeah,
keeps it on course.
That engine's probably, you need to keep it spun up pretty hard. And you can see those exhausts right there I'm talking about. You can see the shot off the back of it. It looks like a calliope or something. It's pretty cool.
Working lap 12 in the CSR category. Just 13 laps comprise this entire event. Lee Alexander leading this pair.
French not able to find a way by yet. He got close before. He's got to work from this place on. From right here all the way to Canada Corner, it should be where he's better.
See, Miller never gets outside that white line and the exit of 5, and French continues to push the limits and find those rumble-stripped edges and nearly to the grass.
I think really that Miller's car is, it's not the type of car you want to be up on bumps with. I don't think it'd be too good on bumps. It's light, it's got narrow wheelbase. You can see the difference in wheelbase alone is huge.
David Locke in that blue and white number 18 will be in the position here. He's P2 right now in the DSR category as we intermingle the CSR DSR.
And that's a good point. He wants to stay out of these guys' way. They're racing really, really hard, and he's in a really good position by himself, and he doesn't need to get caught up in somebody else's war.
So David Locke in the white and blue number 18 machine.
But you can see how close they are at speed. Now right here's where the CSR should have the advantage. A little bit down this long straightaway headed down to Canada Corner.
And this is a great time to bring up the fact that this class will combine next year. CSR DSR will become its own category as a single class.
And they'll make adjustments for that. They'll slow down the CSRs a little bit, or give the DSRs something to work with to make them, not that they need to be much closer. They're pretty darn close now, to be honest with you.
Right, and look at the difference here with David Locke in between them. French not able to get through Canada Corner. And on Billy Mitchell Bend.
Wow, we said it'd go
cleanly
by fast. They just got the white flag, 1 lap to go.
And look at this. The CSR leader, Lee Alexander, about to get him on the backside of the DSR leader, Chris Farrell. They staggered starts. So
unbelievable. French has got a run going down to turn 1. He shouldn't have been faster. Miller must have got hung up or not done 14 quite right. We might have a pass for the second place right there. It did happen. It did happen. Jason Miller now. James French now got around Jason Miller somehow down in between 14 and the top of the hill.
Miller able to power past, though, in second spot of the Sargento Bridge. We're on the white flag lap in CSR. The final opportunity comes down here, a great passing zone. Jason Miller in that blue on blue number 8, leading. James French, coming down the hill for the final time.
No more cars in front of him either, so that shouldn't be anything to slow them up. They both got by the D Sports Racer leader, which is Chris Farrell, and now it's these two guys battling out for second. Lee Alexander is gone without any kind of difficulty. They're not going to catch him.
He's still pacing in 2 minutes 1 second. These guys 2 minute 2.0.
That's the first in the ones we've seen. That last lap was the best lap so far. The 2:01.579. Actually, it was 2:02 flat last lap. So Lee Alexander's got that thing hooked up.
Jason Miller in the final moments here, able to pull a gap on what has been a spirited battle.
How'd
with
Miller
James
get by
French.
again? He just got by again. French is behind him again. So that is second place. Jason Miller back in second place right now.
Holding him off here through the shade, the back half of the course.
This should be interesting. That was 2 changes for second place in that lap. Don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, Jason Miller's back alive, and he's strong up this front straightaway if he doesn't blow this corner.
Narrow entry into turn number 14. He goes, holding inside position, protecting it. He'll stay in between the white lines as French sweeps wide, winning the CSR category. And the checkered flag, it goes to Lee Alexander.
Who's going to get second here, though?
And Chris Farrell also won the super sweep. Second in CSR will go to Jason Miller, edging out James French in the final moments. Steve Forer is awaiting his checkered flag to finish in the 4th position. There he comes. And our overall leader, Lee Alexander, took the checkers just ahead of the DSR champion, Chris Farrell, a super sweep champion now. Chris Farrell has swept the series in 2013. What a great run for him. We'll hear from all of our top 3 finishers in both categories. DSR champion Chris Farrell. David Locke comes home second in that blue and white number 18 machine. Tom Boots stalled, had the lead, stalled on the side of the racetrack, comes back to finish an impressive 3rd.
That is amazing. He was pulled off and, off to the side of the racetrack, and they had to fix whatever was wrong with the car. And then I'd like to find out, maybe Biz can find out for us when he asks about 3rd place. Why he pulled off? What happened to that car?
It's amazing to know you can actually do that and recover.
I've never seen that done. I've never seen a guy go out there, fix his car, and still come in 3rd.
We're expecting to loosen the belts and just kind of say that was fun.
And I'm wondering if it wasn't something along those lines. It's funny that you said that, because I thought, what could possibly be where you would pull off the track and fix something and get back in, and belts would be one. If your belt somehow got knocked loose, and you went off the racetrack, stopped someplace safe and fixed it. I don't know. I want Biz to find out. That's quite an enormous accomplishment to pull off and still come back in 3rd with the competitive class.
And we did see some debris. He and Tom Boots was battling with Chris Farrell at the time. You noted the debris that came off.
Yeah, something big flew off one of those cars. I still don't know what that was. It was the same size, almost like the size of a helmet. So it was I don't think it was rubber buildup, because I don't think there's that much rubber out there to pick up. But it was a big chunk of something that went way up in the air and then bounced across the racetrack and ran out into the woods. Maybe it had legs on it before.
Well, we are in a beautiful picturesque setting. This is the National Park of Speed, and indeed the home of Lee Alexander's gold medal winning CSR category machine. So as they come up the hill, they'll be awaiting the gold medals, the silver and the bronze. These are our 2 class winners coming together, because that's how they finished the race.
Yeah, it is how they finished the race. So one of our cars broke on the last lap and sitting down there at pit in. Didn't make it up the hill. Don't know what the number of that one was.
And I noticed Jim Downing was in the 9th position on the final circuit.
That just happened. Oh, the 88, he must have crashed, because look at the wing on the side of the road there.
Joseph Schaffini in the final moments out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
He must have spun across and backed into the wall over there, because the wing's not on the car anymore.
Tough break for him. Congratulations from his crew, Lee Alexander, in the Factory 48 Motorsports APE Race Parts Store WF0 out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Came here to play in the June Sprints, set the track record here this weekend at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, and now will receive the accolades. He ran 3 different conferences this year. Finished 11th in points in the North, 3rd in Mid-States, and 3rd in the West Conference. He won 5 of 6 major races total. The race he did not win, he DNF'd. He did not have any issues this week. He powered through and is our national champion in CSR. Steve Four rolling past now, out of medal rounds by 1 spot. He did beat Dudley Fleck to the finish line. They rolled past now underneath. As they are on the grid, so is John Bizignano with some very, very deserving race winners.
Well, let me tell you, Alexander, what a great drive for you. You must be very happy, especially with the development you've done in this motor. Tell us about the 48.
Oh yeah, we've been working really hard on this car all year long. The new motor package, we were struggling with it overheating for pretty much 90% of the season, so we didn't really get a chance to work on dialing in the suspension until we got here last week. So we did a lot of work. I just got to give it up to my Factory 48 crew for just dialing this thing in.
What did you do to fix this, the overheating in the motor, though?
Second radiator.
Second radiator, that'll do it every time. You were about to point to something up here.
Yeah, it looks like I lost an end plate at the beginning of the race, and I was losing a bunch of aero, so it was really hard to, it was shuddering. I thought I was going to lose the mirrors. And
well, while you get your medal, I'll just explain that. If we can just look down here, you see there's an end plate here right at the end of this front wing, as this one is over here. If you look at that end plate, that's gone, and you'd think, what a small little thing, but that disturbed the entire car.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if maybe the pressures weren't up yet because we had stickers on, and it was just shuddering like crazy on the first 3 laps. First I thought it was because I was behind Jason in his Airstream, but when I got out in front it was still doing it. And then the temperatures got hot and it raised the car a little bit, and I think that helped. But yeah, there was a really bad understeer through the carousel and the kink and all of that. So
more development this winter, Ollie?
Yeah, something. Keep that thing on.
Okay, put another screw in it. Congratulations on that gold medal. Well, certainly the battle in this class was for second place, and the gentleman who ended up taking the silver medal. We got to get our medal on this. Congratulations on the first in DSR. My God, this is just incredible. Your win here, flat out through the kink, flat out through the carousel. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like no other drive out there.
Well, yeah, this track is just a lot of fun to drive because it does have that flat out where it kind of just makes you really wonder if you really want to do that or not. And yeah, these cars, the store cars, just flat out through the carousel, flat out through about 150 miles an hour through the kink, and you don't even blink at it. It's really a treat.
Chris, let me ask you, when you love it so much, and obviously you love the speed, do you ever think about going up one?
Well, Lee and I race with each other all the time, and he's got, he just changed to the C this year, and they're actually combining the classes for next year. So it'll be interesting. He and I have had a lot of great races this year, and on different tracks, the cars are pretty darn even. You get in a track which is a little more twisty and where it can't put its legs down as much. And we've had races where we finished, within 100th of a second of each other.
So you have to be looking forward to Laguna Seca then.
Oh, Laguna Seca. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's at least it's about a 20-hour closer tow for me as well.
Also, that it's much more twisty-turny than these long straightaways at Elkhart Lake.
Oh yeah. Laguna Seca is much more less horsepower, more finesse type track.
Well, Chris, congratulations on your gold medal, of course, in D Sports Racer, and also you also captured the Super Sweep.
Oh, I had no idea.
Well, Bonnie is about to confirm that with your gold medal, and congratulations on the Super Sweep. Okay, these are your 2 winners in the Sports Racer, D Sports Racer and C Sports Racer. We're going to corral everyone else and hear what they have to say about their second and third finish. We'll be right back with you.
As Lee Alexander goes from the safe racer pole to victory lane and wins the Super Sweep. A perfect season nearly. Finishing second here in the June Sprints, it would have been a perfect season had he swept both races here at Road America. I do want to tell you that the GoPro Hero Move of the Race in CSR has been awarded to James French. We'll hear from him momentarily. He had a great car, battle for medal position. We'll hear from him because he captured the bronze, but he was the GoPro Hero Move of the Race winner. And in D Sports category, we'll hear from him momentarily. He went from the lead to parked, 37 seconds back, to third, Tom Boots has been given the GoPro Hero Move of the Race in D Sports Racer. Here's our unofficial results in C Sports category. Alexander again finishing 6.9 seconds ahead of Jason Miller. That gap grew throughout the race. James French, a great run to third. Steve Four, as we mentioned, three-time and defending class champion, ran fourth. He beat out Dudley Fleck in the final few moments for that position. Kirk Kinsfader had a spin and recovered for sixth. Miles Jackson finished seventh in his very first national championship runoffs. Then came Brian French the Elder. That's the dad of James French. Jacek Muka drifted back to ninth at the finish, and finishing 10th, Bob Wellis in the number 09 machine after starting in the 11th position.
The sports racer, of course, Chris Farrell wins with a commanding performance today. Dave Locke came second. Tom Boots, good third place for the podium. Jim Hallman, Brian Hall, fourth and fifth. Doug Piner, Michael Rupert, and Garrett Klutgen. Richard Colburn and Jim Fogel round out the top 10.
No doubt Klutchen and Colburn were hoping for better runs. Colburn had a great run this regular season, finishing second in the National Points Championship. And, of course, Klutchen ran from 11th on the grid. If you didn't see the beginning, you'll want to go to SpeedcastTV.com and find this race again, because he ran all the way up to third before issues for Klutchen sidelined him. The 42-year-old will go back to Massachusetts, head scratching after claiming third in the national points and trying to better his fourth-place finish here a couple of years ago at Road America in this D Sports Racer category. Let's go back to Biz to find out more of the compelling stories of our top three finishers in CSR and DSR.
Well, David, first of all, congratulations on that silver medal. And we got to clear a little bit something. You kind of slowed down at one point, and we thought you had retired. What was going on with the car there?
Well, I don't remember that. I'm sorry. I was pressing on all the way. Running consistent lap times, 206s, 207s.
What was the most fun part of the race for you?
Seeing the checkered flag.
Seeing the checkered flag. The checkered flag and the silver medal coming your way. Tom, let me ask you this then. Were you able, if the race would have gone a little bit further, were you able to gain another position, you think?
I don't know, perhaps.
These two guys are pretty relaxed down here. Now, you just finished second and third in maybe one of the fastest classes here at Elkhart Lake, and you both look like you're just sitting down having a little bit of coffee here. Oh, come on. We got to do live TV here, guys. Give me some.
Well, we got to jump at the start. I don't know why Chris lined up on the left side, but he did. So we got out front, and wouldn't you know, the master switch shut off coming out of turn 6. That was just swell.
When that happens, do you think the engine's gone completely, or did you know that you'd hit something?
Well, I knew I didn't have any electrical power, because the dash shut off and, just nothing there. So I had to convince the corner worker down at turn 8 to turn it back on for me.
Congratulations on those 2 medals, you guys. And I know you had a lot more fun out there, David, than you're letting on, okay? Now listen, it's kind of like herding cats down here, so I'm going to throw it back just for a couple seconds, and we'll get the C Sports Racers second and third. Here we go.
So to put a period on what we may have seen that end plate fly off of our race winner Lee Alexander's car, and then it was hit by either Tom Boots or Chris Farrell in DSR as they came upon it, and it really caused a moment there. But for Boots, they had that master switch pull-off. Should he share the GoPro Hero of the Race with the corner worker in turn 6?
Well, you know what? It shut down his masters. Now, it sounds to me like that one was on the outside of the racetrack, the one that got shut on the race car, I should say, the one that the corner workers would have to grab if you're upside down or something. The one on the inside is the one when you're flailing around in a corner, sometimes you'll knock that one off. But in any event, he got it righted, and that's a remarkable story there.
Indeed it is. Let's find out what our podium finishers have to say in C Sports Racer. Biz?
Well, C Sports Racer, they're a little bit faster than, of course, the D Sports Racer. And Jason, I'll tell you, you two, well, both of you were battling the entire race. I mean, how much fun were you having out there?
I was having a blast. Certainly James was driving great, and we were just having a great race all around. I was really happy to finish second today.
James, where were you able to get this guy? I mean, was it on the straightaways, or was it in the twisty turny bits?
Not the straightaways. It was
definitely not the straightaways.
Not the straightaways. Some of the higher speed corners, I feel like I have a little bit more downforce, so I can carry some more speed to the corners. And under braking too, I have really good brakes. So
everywhere but the straightaway where the speed counts.
Yeah, we were running a very low downforce because I was trying to stay with the leader, Lee, and as you could see at the beginning, I was actually leading the race. And the only way I could achieve that is if I put a real low downforce on the car. As a result, I had to give up a lot of high speed, some of the high speed corners and braking. But
and when you're talking low downforce, you're actually talking about this wing virtually looks absolutely flat.
Exactly.
So less drag, but of course when you get into the corners,
harder to handle.
And your setup for the car, where you added a little bit more downforce to it?
I mean, we try to run a pretty good compromise between straightaway. I mean, we usually at this track, we try to set it up so we can get through the carousel flat, or at least close to it. That's usually how we aim to set it up.
I think he has a plan for you next year, you know? All right, big smiles down here and a story to tell. Great battle, you two guys. You really didn't touch each other the whole time. Congratulations on that.
One of the things that a low downforce setup does that people don't think about is it's not just the cornering, it really adversely affects the brake zone a lot. I mean, that's some things that people just don't get, that you take that downforce off of that, and then all of a sudden your brake zone gets extended quite a bit. So that's what they were just talking about.
Well, it's great to see those guys able to battle back. They made their decisions, made their choices, and here we go. Let's look back at our CSR DSR racing. What a great run to the finish. That was a spirited battle. That was the pass for the lead that Jason Miller just shared with us that he had enjoyed for almost a lap before Lee Alexander checked out. What a great run, a memorable run, as Tom Boots comes from this incident with that master switch back to third and a podium finish for him. David Locke also challenging. Fletchen had a great run until he had a failure. What a great spirited battle, nearly touching there. 26 minutes and 40 seconds it took to go from green to checker in the fastest classes of the weekend. We certainly hope you enjoyed the coverage here on SpeedcastTV.com. I'm Jim Trado. Thanks on behalf of Dorsey Schrader, our entire crew, and John Bezignano on pit road. We appreciate you joining us here on SpeedcastTV.com. CSR champion Lee Alexander, DSR gold to Chris Farrell.
The 2013 SCCA Runoffs are brought to you by Mazda. Zoom Zoom.
It's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You wish the freeway on-ramp was your personal racetrack. Well, buckle up, buddy, because the Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and events across the country, the SCCA has all the excitement you can handle. Dance the blacktop two-step with SCCA Solo. Get down and dirty with SCCA Rallycross. Or go wheel-to-wheel with SCCA Club Racing. Hit the track with the SCCA, where America's best drivers race.
He ignored the naysayers and never compromised. When Thomas Edison threw the switch, it changed everything. Engineering without compromise. This is the Mazda way. And this is the Mazda CX-5. Skyactiv technology makes it lighter yet stronger, earning a top safety pick. And more fuel efficient than any hybrid SUV. This is the uncompromised Mazda CX-5. What do you drive?